love this one. Halchek made me this one. It's got a regular, just intonation on it. You know, I've done like almost no work on it. It's lasted, God knows, I don't know, 9 years. What's up, Patreon? Jury's out. Belgian Blue, New Crowned Heads cigar. Company's out of Nashville. The owner of the company is named John Huber. I think he's the blender too. Or, well, I don't know. I like a lot of their cigars. Well, a few of them I really like. I was really looking forward to trying that one. Just because of the way it looks. And the name, Belgian Blue. Back when I drank, I really liked that Belgian ale. That blonde ale. So maybe I was trying to relive or find a substitute. Oh, there goes the AC. It's going to be loud out here. All right. Well, it's going to be that loud. Let's move over here. You know what? We'll wait until it's not that loud. All right. It's been about a half hour, and the fan, the AC fan just went off. It's like 70 degrees here in New Orleans right now. Starting to kind of like the cigar a little. Anyway, while you were gone, I went back to practicing 6-chord arpeggios in quarter notes. Okay. So that's just one beat per note. Okay, so go to YouTube if you don't know what an arpeggio is, and type in my name, Jason Ricci, arpeggios. Come up with major triads, 6 chords, 7th chords. Those are all just fancy words for cool things. Okay, so here they are. So the importance of practicing it on quarter notes, I can't emphasize this enough, because first of all, I don't want to do it. Okay, so I know it's good. Because you know how they say that a habit takes 28 days to form, right? Or 28 days to break. Either way, that's not true. A bad habit takes it forms instantly, like within a few days. Good habits take a lifetime. I know this is true, right? Maybe not a lifetime, but they take a couple of years. Anyway, so you just go one beat. So here's the arpeggios, and then it goes quick 4. I learned this from Philippe Gers and stuff, and I knew this stuff before, but I learned like 1 or 2 of the different like arpeggios that I'm going to show you. I got from Philippe. You can go over to Philippe's Patreon and download them, the same as I did. Okay, that's hard to do. It's hard to learn and memorize, but what's hard to do is to stick to it, because I don't want to stick to it. I want to go. Okay, so the only thing wrong with that's what I'm going to do later after I practice it. I'm going to play, but I need to practice it. Okay. And I'm sitting here while the camera's off, and I start off saying, okay, I'm just going to run these 6-chord arpeggios, and then I start trying to make music, right, and play music, which is good. It's good to want to play music, but if I want to get better at playing music, I need to stick to the routine, because what is good about running it in quarter notes? Well, first of all, what I want to do is get away from the root. So, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. I want to get away from starting on the root note, because the root note's predictable, and I want to have more melody and ambiguity in my playing, and more expressiveness and more surprise. Okay, so if I'm on the root note every time, which is, I need to learn where that is by running the arpeggios and stuff. But if I'm on the root note, it's kind of basic, right? There's nothing wrong with that, but it's kind of basic. So by running it in quarter notes, okay, what I'm doing is learning where every note is. So I want to try to run it next from thirds. I don't even know if I can do that now, right? Not bad. Okay, not bad. Not perfect. So why would I want to run it from thirds? All right, well, so anytime I'm on a third, when I'm improvising, I know where I am. Whether it's the third of 1, third of 4, third of 6, third of 5, third of 2, whatever. I'm I'm like tempted to say right now, let's not talk about music. I'm really good. I'm really good right now. I'm really happy. I put this thing up on Facebook, a meme. I don't normally put memes up on Facebook, you know. Sometimes one's about cats, but like this one was about like forgiving your parents for what they've been through, because of what they've been through. It's like forgive your parents because, maybe they didn't have the best upbringing either, right? Maybe they didn't have the ability to show you certain things that they didn't know how to do, right? So they couldn't show it to you, and maybe their own past resolved trauma and all that. And I knew this was going to happen because I remember. But some people wrote, well, fuck them, and I have to respect my boundaries, and, they should have broke the cycle like I did, right, and stuff. I knew that was going to happen. I knew that there was going to be some people that were in pain, that were going to write some things talking about pain, their pain. And I, the subject of forgiveness, right? It's the holidays. We have family. There's complicated family dynamics. But year-round, we deal with people, and there's a difference between cutting people out of your life, which might be necessary. People that are not getting it yet, having trouble and causing you trouble. There's a difference between that and forgiving somebody and having compassion for somebody. So how do I know any of this shit? Well, I didn't come up in a very stable environment. And we had money because my dad was successful. But my parents separated when I was young. And my mom did the best she could. She did the best she could, but she was unstable. She had psychological and mental issues inherited. My father had alcohol and drug issues inherited. My grandparents had alcohol and drug issues, probably inherited. And they did the best they could, but I was kicked out of the house at a young age. I was homeless. There was physical abuse, I guess they call it now, and I guess I knew it even then it was. Teachers knew. But shit, we had physical abuse at our schools by today's standards. Teachers used to hit kids. I got beat up by a teacher once. Anyway, the whole point I bring up all this stuff is that I later started having my own issues, mental, psychological, addiction, relationships, money, taxes, trying to make it in the world. And had I not had a real problem, like by real problem I mean crack cocaine and heroin and going to prison and getting arrested in mental institutions and homelessness and serious issues. Had I not had those problems, I never would have been exposed to a solution. Now, the solution was not just stopping the drugs and alcohol, because it was proposed to me that the problem was not the drugs and alcohol. Believe it or not, the problem was me and the way I was looking at the world, and the drugs and alcohol were my previous solution that was now causing more problems. But initially, drugs and alcohol helped the problem. So, there's an old saying, a squeaky wheel gets the grease. Squeaky wheel gets the grease. So what happened was, because of my bullshit, because of my acting out and addiction and bipolar disorder and mental issues, and I started addressing what was wrong. And so what was wrong? Where do I start? Well, okay, so we'll start with this. I think I felt like the world owed me something. And I knew that that was an issue a long, long time ago, that I felt that way. I knew that was an issue. And I think that I believed that I had addressed that. And I think that today, also, I believe that I've addressed that. The difference is between the first time that I believed that I had addressed that and now is I believe I am addressing that. I believe that I still think, damn it, that fan. I still think sometimes that the world owes me something. It does not. Music doesn't owe me anything. It doesn't. The music industry doesn't owe me anything. I am just lucky to be here. Okay, so there's that. That was a big problem right there. Okay, so the other one, another one, selfishness, self-centeredness, same thing as the other one. Like it's related. Everything's about me. So when everything's about me, I'm pretty miserable. So what can I do for somebody else? So that's a learned behavior. Like, I mean, sometimes that's a fake it till you make it thing. Sometimes you don't wake up thinking about other people. You wake up going, oh, I'm tired, or I feel like shit, or I can't believe I have to work another day, or this sucks, or that's what you wake up thinking about. So you have to go, okay, somebody told me to think about somebody else. So then you go, who else is having a hard time right now? And you think, oh yeah, my buddy Mike, and then you give him a call. And you're just going through the motions. But then afterwards you feel better because you checked in on Mike. And while you were checking in on Mike, you weren't thinking about you. While you weren't thinking about you, you did something to help somebody else. You got a little self-esteem. You feel better because you did something nice. And then all of a sudden your day starts going good. Trust God, clean house, help others. That's what the 12-step books say. That's the 12 steps in a nutshell, right there. And it's work. It's work every single day. And it's easy to sometimes, if you're doing any kind of, you don't have to be an alcoholic or an addict or in a 12-step program to do this work. This is not 12-step work. This is the work. The work. And you got to stick to it. Stick to it in quarter notes. Just keep it simple. There, I don't know. So one of the people that wrote, something bad, about, this only works if your parents aren't toxic, abusive, rotten pieces of shit, something like that. Well, I happen to know this person a little bit, and she's got a real issue with alcohol. Okay, so this is a possible in to help this person, because the squeaky wheel gets the grease. Maybe if she can look at the alcohol problem, she's not going to fix her mother. That's the person she has a problem with, and her dad. She's not going to fix them. But she can fix the way that she looks at them. And the way she looks at herself. And the way she looks at the world. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to fix the way I look at the world. Am I scared of next year? A little bit. I am. But I look at it as a challenge. What am I scared of? I don't know. We got this new guy coming into office. Could be good. It could be terrible, right? It could be kind of less terrible or less good than we thought it was. But what do I think is going to happen? Honestly, between you and me, Patreon, I think there's going to be a staged fake alien invasion. I swear that's what I think. And I think the world's going to act kind of crazy around it. And I don't think it's going to be a real alien invasion. Do I think there'll be real aliens involved? Maybe. Yes. Yes, I do. I do think that. And am I scared? Do I think 2025 is going to be a crazy year? Yeah, I think it's going to be really, really crazy. All right. And am I scared of it? Yeah. But I can't change what's going to happen, whether it's nothing or all this crazy stuff. So what I pray for is not for the world to change. Not that there's anything wrong with praying for that. Okay, but what I primarily pray for is for me to have more faith that everything is going to be okay. One of the times when my mother kicked me out of the house, I had it I can't remember, I don't know, maybe $50 or something, so I went to the YMCA to get a room, and I got some pizza rolls and stuff. And they were frozen, so I hung them out the window because it was in the wintertime. I was 15, guys, maybe 16. I hung them out the window and I closed the window. Well, the seagulls came and picked at the bag, and all of my food fell, 4 or 5 stories onto the ground. By the time I noticed, I ran down there to get it. All the guys at the YMCA were heating up my food in the microwave and eating it. And I was bummed. I went back upstairs and I grabbed my guitar and I tried to play the song Trouble in Mind, but I didn't have enough trouble yet. I didn't have enough blues, I didn't have enough experience. I couldn't play it right. Music had failed me. As it does. As all things human do. And I went to sleep feeling sorry for myself, and alone, and miserable, and scared, and angry in this foreign bed, in this cold room with cinder blocks in Portland, Maine, and hungry. And that night I had a dream. And my dream, my Grandma Benton, my mother's mother, who was murdered by my grandfather, and whose murder my family kept a secret. They say she drowned. She was hit over the head and knocked unconscious, and either was pushed overboard or fell overboard a boat. And we covered it up. My family covered it up. I wasn't even like 4 or 5 years old when this happened. I didn't find out about it until I was like 22. But according to my mother, my grandfather killed my grandmother. Or at least let her die. Or both. Whatever. Anyway, she came to me in a dream, and she spoke to me, and she said really 4 of the most powerful words that I try to remember anytime that I'm in fear of what's happening in the world, and that's that everything's going to be all right. Everything is going to be all right. Everybody, all the prophets said that. They all said that in one way or another. And it is. It's going to be all right. Into the wilderness. Indian red. Air conditioner went off. Sometimes people mistake videos like this that are so happy. This is a really happy video as being sad, because the things that I'm talking about are serious. But see, there's a complexity to the human experience, right? To this experience, to my experience, to blues music. The sad is what allows the happy to be. The happy is what allows the emotion, the anger, the doubt, the fear, the joy, the overcoming. That is life. as we know it. That is it. And we're all right where we're supposed to be. And other dumb cliches like that. I'm not preaching at anybody. Not at all. This is like one of the only places I ever talk like this, you know, except when I'm hanging out with somebody and they seem open to talking about more things than normal. Because there's another old saying, those who tell don't know, and those who know don't tell. So why? Why would those who know don't tell? Well, because a lot of people told me, and I wouldn't listen. So you kind of got to get to a place where you're in enough pain that you're willing to listen. And I just wasn't there. So maybe sometimes people don't tell, maybe people don't post a Facebook meme like the one I posted that I thought about not posting a lot. But it was just too pretty and too true. And I thought it might help people, and I thought, well, it's okay if it makes a couple people angry. Even though it's about love and forgiveness and compassion and understanding and empathy and sympathy, that's going to make some people angry. And I get it. I get it. I was there. I was very angry. And it's good not to be. It's good not to be internally, fundamentally pissed off. Kate and I watched this YouTube video last night about these people. I think they're called prenatalists or something, and they're angry at their parents for giving them life. And there's even a guy in Japan that's suing his parents for bringing him into the world against his consent. Right? That's what I mean. Fundamentally angry. I lost my train of thought. Quarter notes. Quarter notes. Notes of the quarter order. Notes of the quarter order. Yeah. Man, I love that little Walter Cotton style. Jazz and all that. Philippe Jazz, if you're listening, did you ever learn that stuff? My bro, been teaching me a lot about music. Man, I love your playing, bro. Philippe, bro, beautiful. But listen, but check out that old stuff. Listen to that stuff. Listen to that little Walter. It's so cool. It's so cool. What if I were to play a blues jazz in the little Walter style? Could I do it? I don't know. Wait. What do I mean by that? So I'm going to play a quick 4, a raised 4 arpeggio, a 6-chord arpeggio on bar 8, a 2-chord arpeggio on bar 9, and a 5-chord arpeggio on bar 10. And then I'm not gonna do the 1 6 2 5 turnaround on bars 11 and 12. I'm gonna try to do that in Little Walter style. They're the best I could do. First try. Got a gig tonight. I get nervous before shows. This Patreon video, this cigar, this cup of coffee, this practice is how I deal with nerves, emotions. Practice is the best way to deal with nervousness. Because, you're doing something about what you're nervous about. I'm nervous I'm not going to play well. So let me get the harmonica in my mouth a little bit before the gig. You know. You guys been following that Shane Eli Seeger guy? I don't know if he's on here. If you're not on here, Shane, you should be. He's a big fan of mine. And I'm a big fan of you, if you're watching. He's Sting's harmonica player. That's pretty cool. That's a good gig, I would imagine. Anyway, man, he's been posting some cool stuff and some great writings. Man, he really does a good job. Sometimes I worry. I think, I don't do enough for Patreon. I don't do enough. I don't post as much as I should. And this guy posts a lot. He writes stuff. He's got an email list and stuff. Man, I need to get it together. Sometimes I wish I had married my ex. Well, he was really good at taking care of business, computers and taxes and bills and things. So all I had to do was earn money, and he earned money too. Kate, she's not good at that stuff, and she doesn't, take care of all that stuff. So I got to take care of it myself, which is good. I should learn how to take care of it. But sometimes I wish I had somebody to do that for me, so I could just concentrate on the fun stuff and the hard stuff, like making the money. Speaking of money, I got some nice tips on PayPal and Venmo over the holidays for videos. I really appreciate it. Man, that Smokestack Lightning video did great. Almost got 8,000 views. It's like 50 shy in one day. It's up to 10,000 now. The new one, the Commit a Crime one, did really good. Didn't do that good. But that was the best video, view-wise, money-wise, that I've had in a while. So how much do I make off of one of those videos? So off of that Howlin' Wolf video that got 10,000 views in 1 week, I made $157. That's amazing for me. So that's a, I'm not going to say it's a life-changing amount of money, but it actually kind of is. That's a bill for me. That's paid because of a video that I did. That's unbelievable. And then you guys helping me out here on Patreon over the holidays. I lost money on that West Coast tour. So if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't have made it through and wouldn't have been able to pay the band, and you know, the gigs paid the band, but I was able to at least have enough money to buy food and be comfortable and take care of the bills here at the house while I was out there doing that. And all I had to do was make YouTube videos and talk to you guys on Patreon. That felt fun. But yeah, Shane's been practicing a lot of that fast Pat Ramsey stuff and some of my stuff. If you want to check out this stuff, check out some of my videos called Movable Licks. The really hard ones are like that. He's been doing a lot of that stuff and a lot of the patterns, the Pat Ramsey breathing patterns, 4-blow, 3-blow thing. And it's cool to see people revisiting this stuff, 20 years, 30 years after I started doing it. And, I stole it all from Pat, I guess not quite that long ago, 95, 96, started posting it on YouTube when YouTube came out, 17, 18 years ago. Now there's this whole younger generation, Kyron and everybody getting into it. Shane, Will Wild. It's cool to watch that stuff. Feel like I was part of helping leave something behind that Pat started, getting it out there. Some people would have kept it a secret, because some people think those who know don't tell and those who tell don't know. Well, I don't know. See ya.